If it looks like my hair's blowing in the wind, it's because it is. Because I've got my minnow fan blowing on my neck. I know I'm wearing a hoodie, but like it's pretty cold in my house, but then I get hot right away and I don't want to keep going back and forth. So we're just gonna leave the hoodie on and the minnow fan is gonna be in my face while I talk about this. Hi guys, it's Melissa. I'm back with a different type of video today. A little flip through of my Collage Soup journal. This is a special journal to me because Collage Soup approached me I don't know, like 3 or 4 months ago and asked if I would help her with her TikTok. So I was really excited because if you don't know, I am a director of communications for a nonprofit during the day, but I also do social media for a local business and I help Collage Soup with hers. Now, I don't want you to think because I love Collage Soup, that's why I chose her out of all the books. I literally chose her books because they are accessible, they are affordable, and they're not wasteful over the flow and the paper. That's the real reason I chose Collage Soup above the rest, because they are accessible for everybody and they are affordable. And I just don't feel like they're wasteful. So I'm going to get into this really quickly. I had somebody yesterday say they wanted more Collage Soup content. I will be happy to oblige because I love using her books and I love being creative. I don't just use Collage Soup in my journal. I use it on canvas. I've used it on wood. I've used it on glass. I've used it on shells. Her books and her paper goods, her ephemera, all the things, they can be decoupaged. They're made to be cut up, ripped up, torn up, cut, pasted, whatever. And so that's what I love about her books, is that the possibilities are endless and the creativity is endless. And if you're in a rut, all you have to do is immediately open one of her books and you feel inspired. That was me today. I was in a creative rut. I have to create for my 9-to-5, for the local business that I help with social, and on top of my own social, and with Collage Soup. And so I opened up one of her books and I immediately felt inspired. This journal right here is super special to me because this journal represents every live I've ever done for Collage Soup, except for like 4 where I've not used the journal and I've used like other things, whether that be canvas, wood, glass, whatever. So today I'm going to see, look, I keep looking because I'm like, where's the camera? Today I'm going to share with you a little flip through of my Collage Soup journal, and we're going to talk about how awesome these books are. Before I open the journal, I just want to share really quickly, I do not print the entire ebook. I will say this again and again and again. And I do have to say it again and again and again. When I get the ebooks from her, I only print the pages that I want. So I actually have some ebook pages right here. It's the Queen of Hearts book that I picked up from my local FedEx today. And what I do is I only print the pages that I'm going to use that day or that week. Now, again, I'm not only using the pages for my own spreads, but also the spreads that I do for her social media. And so this is the Queen of Hearts. So you can kind of see right here, like the quality is so good. This is an ebook, so I have FedEx print the pages for me. Their paper is the 32-pound paper. I also have a ream of their paper here at home, and so when I do want to print, I can, but their quality is just exceptional. I know people that use Staples, Office Max, local printer, the library, whatever. I chose FedEx because it's close to my house. The price was right, all the things. So this is an ebook. This is the Queen of Hearts, and I am obsessed with it. And I love how there's different elements in the ebooks as well. So background pages as well as single elements that you can cut out. And I mean, the hearts are just so dope. So Collage Soup for the win, always. Let's get into my journal really quickly and talk about all these different spreads. And so this is I don't know how to say it, leash. Look at me, leash term. Yeah, okay. Anyways, it's that one. I got it at Barnes & Noble. She's thick, but then again, I like a junky, trashy journal. So this was the first spread that I ever did for Collage Soup Live. This newspaper is, let me see, what date was this? Let me just tell you guys the date on this newspaper. Hang on. September 13th, 1869. And I got this newspaper at my little local vintage shop that I host my junk journal club at. I used elements from a few different books. This is from the London Calling book. This is from the Bad Mood Muffins book, and then the birthday book that was exclusive in one of her blind boxes. And then, of course, I put this quote that says, "We must dare mighty things." And then, of course, I used a bit of lace because I love doing mixed media in my journals, and Collage Soup makes it really easy to get inspired to do such. And so this was the first ever live that I did. The next one is actually part of a free project that she has on her website called the Curious Collage Society. And it's a free project that you download, and I think it has 30 pages in the PDF. So you just print, and then basically the tips and instructions basically tell you to create your own interpretation of the Curious Collage Society. So you get these beautiful pages, and then you just have them printed out wherever. I incorporated, again, vintage newspaper from 1838, and then I incorporated an element from the house that Kay built, and then again, obviously from London Calling. And then this guy and her are from the Curious Collage Society. And I took the cup and the bird that were also from the Curious Collage Society, and I decided to make just a little interactive post. But this is the first part of the Curious Collage Society. This was my second interpretation of the Curious Collage Society, again incorporating little vintage ephemera bits, wax seals, stickers, things that I've accumulated, along with the bits from the Curious Collage Society PDF. This right here is from her Paper Dolls book, and I just took different bits. So that's the beauty of this, is like mixing your own ephemera along with what she gives you. And then this was the first junkie spread that I did for Collage Soup, and this was basically just using some of her, I think it's Where Your Garden Grows book. It's a beautiful book, it's huge. And I wanted to incorporate elements from my own garden this year, as well as like a little seed packet and a list. And then, of course, making it interactive with things that I had planted this spring. And so just encouraging people and showing people how to collage, how to cut out, how to rip up, tear up, cut up, and paste, all the things. And then, of course, we get into the collaging. I love to collage. I love to play with all the different types of mediums and ink and glitter and music sheets. These vintage music sheets I picked up at a thrift shop. And then, of course, the vintage paper making an appearance again. And then the beautiful Saddle Up book, along with some roses from the Where Your Garden Grows book. So each page is very, very different. I love this one. I myself am entirely made of flaws stitched together with good intentions. And I took all of these different bits of scraps that I had left over from Collage Soup books, and then I used vintage scraps from my vintage newspaper, and I stitched the pieces together. And so again, showing everybody like using everything, right? Using all those extra bits, being creative in different ways. And so again, collage. I love to collage. You guys can see I get pretty funky in my collages. I'm looking at this one. Looks like I need to reglue the star, but I'll get to that later. Made a little gold tooth with some gold leaf. I absolutely love to collage. And then using my favorite book, Hexapeel, Don't Let the Tamed Ones Tell You How to Live. I love this book. And again, incorporating that vintage newspaper, just using beautiful different backgrounds. This was a prompt that she had one day on the website, taking different scraps and bits and creating like a nest, so to speak. And so that's what I did, along with some doodling. And then this was the first clear page that I ever attempted. You guys have seen that tutorial here on my YouTube. You can go back to it. I did do a tutorial on YouTube, and it has been very popular. And this one says there is no limit to what you can do. And so this right here is part of a tutorial that I did here on YouTube. Just scroll back and you can find it. I had a lot of fun doing that. And then, of course, Bohemian Mystics is this book. Love, love, love. So mostly I can remember the pages. This was the first one that I ever did where I attempted to use like texture and, of course, the ink. You can see like the blue and all the ink. And we had a lot of fun that night. And again, the book is Hexapeel, but I incorporated other elements as well. And the idea is to just inspire people and get them moving on creating and just throwing it down. And it doesn't have to look perfect or be perfect. It just have fun with what you're creating. And then this one is using a few different books and then a vintage postcard. This postcard is actually from 1915. I love using old postcards. I think it's so darling, the detail that they went into back then. Just the I don't know, it's just very endearing to me, and I love how touching it is. I mean, I can't imagine. Nobody sends postcards anymore. We're all about that email life. And so to get such a beautiful little postcard in the mail with the handwriting and the little note, it's just so sweet. And they didn't have addresses back then. You basically just put the person's name and their city and the postman found you, which is mind-blowing to me. And then, of course, this one was really fun. We had a lot of fun with, again, collaging. And then I had everybody on the live interact and give me words of, like positive words. And so I cut out the page and then I used some of her washi, which is some of my favorite washi. And then again, in the this one says, in the midst of chaos lies creativity. Using different books. Right, this thing is really heavy actually, you guys. And again, different books. Every time there's a new ebook, I try to do a page just to kind of inspire. And then this is about the time I started having people on Tuesday nights live over there choosing the books for me. So it's been challenging, but it's been fun. And this is the spread that I did for my mom for the Mother's Day book. And I used some of the trim from her craft closet, some of the vintage trim. This is from the 70s and the 80s. Some pictures of her. And I wrote down a list of like all the things that she is to me and my family. Her book that she's written, you guys check that out. It's called Tierra Red by K.P. Vorenberg on Amazon. She's just the most creative person that I know. She's like a Jackie of all trades. She's an artist. She's an author. She's a mother. She literally can do anything and anything. She's painted. She's made dolls. She worked for a newspaper. I mean, she's just incredible. And then this spread was really fun. This is when people started kind of challenging me using different styles of books. And so having fun with, again, those books. And then here we go into the collage again, using different elements and books and ephemera and bits and trim and more collage, having fun with all the fun little bits and books from Collage Soup. More collage, just like constantly collaging. This one was actually inspired by my best friend, and I loved it. And this goes into like a totally different page back here, but I love using all the elements from her books. And then of course, more collage, having fun with collage and color. Here is the second clear page that I have ever done. This is gonna be like a hodgepodge video, but this page is actually one of my favorites. You can see that I incorporated coins in here, and then a couple of little affirmation cards, a glow-in-the-dark star. Let me see if I can show you guys. Yeah, you can see. It's really so beautiful. This is the Mean Green Collage Machine book. I loved it so much. And so, again, getting into certain bits. This was actually for an ad, so there's nothing on the other side. More collage bits. This is one of my favorite spreads from the Red, White, and Weird book. Love that book. This spread might be my favorite currently, because I used her, one of her paper bites and then some of the pages in the background. What's also great about Collage Soup is that some of her pages are a collage in themselves. So if you're feeling uninspired, use them as a background and then just add your own elements, like a picture or a quote or whatever. And then this is a bit of her new ephemera called Eclectica. These are translucent pages. There's 50 in a pack. And so I basically just glued her on there and then covered her in my favorite trim. Again, another random. Okay. This one too, with the inspired by everybody on the lives. I do interactive lives and I love that. And they get to choose the elements and the pages that I use. And then there's the ink. You can kind of see that purple. I do a lot of ink. I do a lot of late, like ephemera and bits and fabric and trim. We have a really good time. Then of course this one too. Every time there's a new book, more Eclectica, translucent pages, glitter, ink, all the things. Love incorporating different elements. So it's just really fun, and it gives you great inspo. This is from her current blind date with a collage box. It's called Cosmic Cowgirl. And I came up with this idea to kind of, she said, let's think of something cool. Everything Western is so in right now. And so I said, we should do like a space cowboy theme. And she came up with Cosmic Cowgirl. And so this wooden piece is from the box. And I covered it in the tissue paper from the box along with some trim. And I cut everybody out, different elements from the book. And we created this awesome spread one night on a live. There's only like 6 of that, I think, left of that box. And then this is the one I have recently done. So this is my current spread that I did 2 nights ago. And this one basically says, I value myself, I am worthy. And she says, sometimes amazing people forget how amazing they are. And so this is my Collage Soup journal. She's super thick. I love her. I've only got a few pages left in her. I'm going to be super sad when I'm done with her. I have to start a new journal. But hopefully this gives you some inspiration on how to use the books and just having fun with the books. The whole point is to get out of that creative rut and maybe just give you some inspiration. They're beautiful. They're easy to use. She does have paperback or ebook. So if you have any questions about Collage Soup, drop them below. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will start creating very soon some Collage Soup content here with the books, so you guys can kind of see how I rip up, tear up, cut up, and throw it down, and how I use the ebooks and how I use them on different mediums. So until next time, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you later.